The highly anticipated return of sport climbing at the Summer Olympics is finally here. We're dropped right into the action on day 1, with the men's boulder semi-final and the women's speed qualification and elimination rounds. The boulder semi-final was a low-scoring affair, and for a while, the audience might have feared they'd see no tops. However, commentator Shauna Coxsey lifted some kind of curse with the hopeful line,
"I think we're going to see some tops."
Jakob Schubert must have heard her, because he managed to record the first top on his first boulder. At the close of the semi-final, the tally was only 6 tops made on 80 attempts of the 20 athletes, each trying 4 boulders. Jakob Schubert, Ondra, Avézou, Toby Roberts and Tomoa Narasaki all made 1 top, and Sorato Anraku managed to get 2. Needless to say, those cents put them at the top of the leaderboard and created some serious distance from climbers without tops, who will have their work cut out for them on Wednesday when they tackle the lead wall. The boulder semi-final started slow with a punishing and powerful first boulder problem. The climbers came out in an order based on the current IFSC world ranking, and the lower ranked climbers struggled with the first move of the boulder. It was the British Hamish MacArthur who stuck it first, but the difficulty of B1 was very consistent. Reaching and using the high zone proved too difficult for most climbers, and only a couple of them got near the top. Yannick Floe and Ondra managed to touch the final hold, but we had to wait until Austrian powerhouse Jakob Schubert showed up to see the boulder topped. Toby Roberts got extremely close, and for a moment it seemed like he topped, but when he jumped down, he signaled to the brushing team to get to work, so he must have realized his match didn't count. Japanese climber Sorato Anraku was the final climber to climb, since he sits on top of the world rankings, and he joined Jakob as one of only 2 climbers to top B1. Boulder 2 looked really fun, and most climbers made it too and passed the high zone for 10 points with relative ease. But the final move proved too much for the field. Alberto Gines Lopez, Avézou and Colin Duffy seemed to get very close, but once again it was only Sorato, the youngest climber of the field, who managed to stick the coordination move and match the final hold for 25 points, taking a massive lead on the field. Boulder 3 started with 2 coordination jumps that gave most of the field a lot of problems. But the real crux was the jump from the high zone. Lee Do-hyun seemed to come closest to sticking that move, but no one ended up getting the top. Finally, Boulder 4 was a very tricky slab, and getting to the high zone for 10 points was a challenge for the first half of the field. Hannes van Duysen and Paul Jenft managed to reach the high zone, but it wasn't until Avézou came onto the mat that we saw a top, and the French crowd had a reason to go wild. Ondra, Tomoa Narasaki and Toby Roberts were the only climbers to channel Sam's solid footwork and composure and send the problem as well. At the end of the day, it's not the order in which the climbers finish, but the amount of points they get that counts. So climbers with tops have a massive benefit going into the lead semi-final and have the highest chance to get a good combined score. The 2 Japanese climbers, Narasaki and Anraku, arguably the favorites for Boulder, came in 1st and 2nd place and combined world champion, so we'll be looking to him to qualify for finals near the top of the field. Toby Roberts performed very well with his top, as did Avézou, who delivered massively for the French home crowd in Le Bourget. Alberto Gines Lopez sits surprisingly low in the boulder ranking, since he was definitely one to watch based on his performance in the qualifier series. Before we have a look at what happened in the women's speed qualification and elimination rounds, we're having a closer look at our very own Belgian climber Hannes van Duysen's performance. Hannes was in the lead after his 4 boulders for a long time, until the tops started coming in, which pushed him down the ranking. On Boulder 1, he flashed the high zone, which is the main reason for his edge over the climbers who also scored somewhere near 34 points. On Boulder 2, he made the high zone in 3 tries, but couldn't stick the top. No one else, aside from Sorato Anraku, did, so that was no reason to panic. On Boulder 3, he only made the low zone, once again in 3 tries. The second coordination move caused him too much trouble. On Boulder 4, he was up against a tricky slab, which is his bread and butter, and he was the first athlete to make the high zone. He nearly stuck the top, but bounced off the wall a little too much and had to settle for the 10 points. He ended up in 7th with 34.2 points as the first climber without tops, and is in a good position going into lead climbing. To state the obvious for those less familiar with the format, Hannes will want his combined score to put him in the top 8 after the lead event on Wednesday, August 7th, if he wants to progress to the finals. Come on, Hannes. The speed events start off with a seeding round and an elimination round. In the seeding round, athletes get 2 runs, 1 in each lane, to set a good time, based on which they are put into the roster for the Elimination Heats. The fastest climber takes on the slowest climbers, and the winners of the Elimination Heats go on to the quarterfinals, which are held in a couple of days. The seeding round started off with some technical difficulties. In the first 2 races of the seeding round, one of the 2 clocks that climbers have to hit at the top of the wall to finish their run didn't work. After about 15 minutes of troubleshooting and repairs, Chinese climber Zhou Yafei and Indonesian athlete Desakmade Maderita Kusumadewi had to reclimb their first seeding time. Things went fast once the competition was underway, and the Tokyo Olympic record of 6.84 seconds held by Aleksandra Miroslaw got destroyed instantly and repeatedly. In quick succession, Zhou Yafei, Desakmade Maderita Kusumadewi, and US climber Emma Hunt pushed the Olympic record down. Yafei from 6.84 to 6.54, Desakmade pushed it to 6.52, and Emma Hunt to 6.36. But next up was world record holder Aleksandra Miroslav herself, and she went on to not only push the brand new Olympic record set by Emma Hunt down some more, she broke her own world record that previously stood at 6.24 by climbing the speed route in 6.21 seconds in the first lane and in 6.06 seconds in the second lane. After the seeding round, the roster was set for the elims. Miroslav was up first and sent South Africa's Anja Holder packing with a 6.10 second run. Emma Hunt stayed consistent and progressed over Manon Lebon. Next, Polish climber Aleksandra Kaluka beat New Zealand's Sarah Tetzlaff. There was no upset just yet, and in the next heat, Yafei beat Beatrice Colli. However, the times in these heats got closer and closer together, but still, Dong beat Viglione in the next heat. Rita Kusumadewi, the current world champ, sent the USA's Piper Kelly home in a close call. And in the next heat, Spanish climber Leslie Adriana Romero Perez caused the first upset, beating Indonesia's Radja Salsabila, who fell early in her run, but who progressed to the quarterfinals anyway because she has the fastest time of the losing climbers. A brutal moment took place when, because of the slip, Salsabila pushed out Beatrice Colli from the fastest loser spot in the final elimination heat. Here's the roster for the quarterfinals, coming up on Wednesday, August 7th. That's all from day 1. If you want to learn more about sport climbing at the Summer Olympics, check out our Everything You Need to Know video, and we'll see you tomorrow for the day 2 post-show. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and there's no need to go anywhere else because you can just watch this video next. Click it. Click it.